Happy Valentine's Day from the Northland. We find ourselves at Oak Park this evening, but I don't think too many pleasantries are going to be exchanged tonight for a rivalry game between Park Hill and Oak Park. I am Tim Spurl. He is the Hall of Fame coach, Rick Zeke. And coach, in our girls game, two teams trending the opposite direction. Park Hill's won 3 in a row coming into tonight. Oak Park's been sliding. They've lost 3 straight games, a massively important game for both teams.
Both teams very big because you're looking at late February into March. You're looking at the regional and state tournament. So it's a big game for both. It's a good old-fashioned north of the river rivalry, and both teams need a win.
Hey, players to watch. We'll start with Park Hill, and they have got a tremendous player in Boston Wan.
Well, Boston Wan, 6'1" senior. Coach said she's just a great kid, works hard. She's a Northwest Missouri State signee. They need a big game out of her. She averages 14 points a game and 8 rebounds, and they're going to get the ball into the post to her.
For Oak Park, they're walking wounded coming in, but Kiera Ross will be asked to do a lot.
Well, Coach says Kiera Ross has to be a good player today. She has to have her A game. She's a 5'7" guard. She just broke the school record with 39 threes. She's a scorer at all levels, and she's got to have her A game today, that's for sure.
Two very good teams. It's a rivalry game and an important game in mid-February. Tip-off coming up on the other side of this on Spectrum News. Hey, how about a shotgun start from Oak Park? Park Hill won the opening tip, so you haven't missed anything. Park Hill and the All Reds as this turnaround falls off the hill of the iron from the aforementioned Boston Wan.
I think we're going to see a lot of that. They're going to get her the ball in the paint today.
Oak Park, of course, in their all-whites on senior night. Only 2 seniors on this roster, only one of them active tonight. Lily Everly not dressed out for tonight, still battling a shoulder injury, but set to come back here within the next couple of weeks. But that is a notable absence in this lineup, as here's an early turnover. Wan, they go right back inside to her, and she'll go to the line. Coach, Boston Wan talked about her in the pregame, Northwest Missouri State commit. That's going to be a matchup problem.
Yes, and I think early North Kansas City's going to have to really work to try to front her or play her to the high side. The defender's been caught behind her twice, and I think that's going to end up being a long night.
And normally, if healthy, that would be the assignment of Lily Everly, the 6'2" senior that is headed to go play soccer at Washburn next year. But again, still not 100% from that injury she sustained last Friday against North Kansas City. So that is going to be the matchup to watch this evening, is how Oak Park defends Wan in the paint.
Defensive pressure by Park Hill. North Kansas City really is going to have to handle that and get to the basket and go downhill with the basketball.
Ross does it all in this attack. 4 assists, 13 points a game. Carter, slow play in this possession is Oak Park. This is a team that turns it over 15 times a game. It's going to be something to watch tonight, as this shot too strong off the hill of the iron from Davis.
Park Hill really likes to push it.
Open look. And a rebound fought for, hitting the deck. Wan pulls it away, and Park Hill extends this possession. This 3 rattles out from Audrey Sims. And Geary all the way the other way. Can't finish inside, but an offensive rebound. That won't fall for Jalen Carter.
They're going to need to stick those in. They're not going to get a lot of those today because of the size advantage.
Krista Davis hasn't touched it yet, and they go right at Krista Davis in the paint, and we've got 6 early points from Boston Wan.
Yeah, Coach Anderson had said that earlier this week, that that's going to be the issue. They're going to probably play multiple players on her and try to make sure they push her out of the paint. They haven't done that yet.
Ross is trapped on the baseline, and Wan has a steal. Tucker makes it 8-0 Park Hill. And a timeout from Delisha Anderson. What a start from the Trojans out of the gate. 3 minutes in and already an 8-0 lead. And coach immediately, Boston Wand is making an imprint on this game.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a long night. They're going to have to either play high side. They can't play behind her. Excellent passes from the perimeter. No pressure on the perimeter passer. Outlet to the guard. You're going to have to stop that basketball. Coach calls a quick timeout. 8-0 lead.
Boston Wand regarded as one of the best players in this district. Talked about how she is headed to Northwest Missouri State, and the numbers back it up. 14.5 a game, 8 rebounds a game. And the senior already has 6 first quarter points. Ross can't find the range. This is the second meeting between these two teams as this mid-range jumper from Audrey Sims makes it a 10-0 advantage.
Audrey Sims, another really highly touted freshman. Coach really likes their 2 freshmen on their squad.
A freshman averaging 10.5 a game. Davis got that blocked. Wand. Nobody around her.
Excellent pass. They're scoring off transition. They're scoring off their sets.
A radically different start tonight than what these two teams saw December 19th at Park Hill. That was an overtime Oak Park victory back in December. Carter can't hit either. Oak Park remains scoreless as this hole gets deeper.
They're really having a tough time finding out who they have. Now they're matching up a little bit better.
And we haven't talked about it yet, but this is an Oak Park team that has a very short bench as well.
Playing a little zone right now, slow down their attack a little bit. They're going to give up some open shots like that.
Lydia Keller makes it 15-0. Everything falling for Park Hill in the opening quarter.
They need a bucket here.
Kiera Ross, not there.
In the cylinder and out.
And a turnover from Park Hill gives it back to Oak Park. And coach, talk about the challenges for Oak Park, but we get a look at Kennedy Earhart and quite the start for her Trojans. 13-7, coach, and this was a team that was sort of teetering back in December. You talked about it to me before we got going, and all of a sudden playing their best basketball.
Good assist here. Yeah, coach said really after they got beat by Oak Park, it turned their team around a little bit. The team met and said we're better than this and we're not gonna let that happen again.
Wand, with 2 defenders around her, has double digits in the first quarter.
Well, when she picks her game up, they make them really, really good basketball team.
Turnaround will fall for Carissa Davis.
They needed that badly.
And nearly another turnover, and it will be turned over as it's thrown away. And in transition, taken right back by Anna Anderson. One of the best flag football players in the nation, by the way, Anna Anderson. Wands with a turnaround.
They slid her up to the middle of the free throw line against that zone. So Coach Anderson's really tried about everything. She's tried man, she's tried zone. They're going to have to find a Boston Wand in that zone also.
Boston Wand, coach, are you ready for this? How about a turnaround? And this is sort of the Lily Everly effect. Back in December, Boston Wand, 4 points on 2 of 6 from the field, turned it over 5 times. In the first 6 minutes and 15 seconds, she's already got 12 points. And she has spearheaded this fast start.
Excellent pass inside. She's making her living in there. They're finding her. It's pretty obvious. Coach said we're going in there. Her hustle play makes this one happen here. They eventually find the three. Turnovers, outlet pass. They're scoring about every level right now. Good block there. She's all over the place right now. They're really moving the ball also. Every possession is becoming difficult for Oak Park. They just need to get in a rhythm a little bit. Use all 5 players, really good active hands.
That pass jumped by Anna Anderson. As Boston Wand will sit coming out of that timeout. Open look from beyond the arc is good. Taylor Finney makes it an 18-point lead.
That's a problem with the zone. You got to find those shooters out there.
Oak Park is thin on the bench. Park Hill is very deep off that bench. Oh, an answer from Kiera Ross. Oak Park needed that.
She's the all-time three-point shooter. She's got to pick that game up a little bit.
Her 40th three-point make of the season. This one tips and take it away. That's where Oak Park can make up some ground. Park Hill does get a little bit careless. Ross short on her 3. That first game, Park Hill turned it over 21 times.
That's tough to win when you're turning over that many times. And they were in position to win.
But that number has leveled out as the season's gone on for Park Hill. An offensive rebound, this possession extended for the Trojans. A foul, or a whistle, a travel rather, will give it right back to Oak Park and another turnover.
Well, they're getting every loose ball right now, Park Hill is. Coach has really got to, at quarter, really got to emphasize the mixing up of the defense. Wanda's not in the game right now. And make sure they find him and then take advantage of that. Now they can go in the paint a little bit. Really like to see him drive the ball to the basket.
Jalen Carter with an important 3 as that cuts it back to 12. 3 to beat the horn, won't fall. Park Hill came out with their hair on fire, but Oak Park able to work it back to a 12-point game at the end of 1. A fast start for the Trojans. Boston Wand 12 points in this opening quarter. And Coach, I think you could take positive takeaways into both huddles at the end of 1. I mean, Park Hill 22 points, not a lot to complain about, but you got to like the way that Oak Park responded.
Those are 2 really big goals right before the half. You figure, you look at the game a little bit, it seems like it's a 15, 20-point game, and it's really only 12, so those are really big. Again, Kiera Ross is going to have to put some points on the board, but, you know, as a coach, you look at it, if you've lost 3 games in a row, your confidence is down a little bit, and I think those 2 possessions there might give them a little bit of confidence going into that second quarter. You start doubting everything you do, whether it be passing or shooting the 3 or shooting free throws. They need to gain a little confidence and be the aggressors in the second quarter.
Hey, you are watching the Hy-Vee High School Game of the Week on Spectrum News. Our night is just getting rolling. A doubleheader on tap for you tonight from the Northland, Park Hill and Oak Park. A couple of really good girls teams, and that guys game is also going to be a lot of fun later tonight. You don't want to go anywhere. We've got plenty of action for you this evening on Spectrum News. And Oak Park will start with the basketball in this second quarter. See if they can continue to chip away at this big lead that Park Hill built in the opening quarter. 3 ball. An offensive rebound. Kiera Ross chases that down. But then it's thrown away as Wand back into the game with a steal, and she's got 14.
Great hands, great anticipation. That's really big for a 6-foot girl to take it all the way down and lay it in. That shows a lot of athleticism.
Future Bearcat is lighting it up already. And now the Lady Okies trying to find that rhythm offensively. They haven't shot the ball poorly. Turnovers have been an issue, though. This one poked away by Wand. Boston Wand coming out of the scrum.
Find their way to the basket every time they got an offensive possession.
What a first half it has been. for the senior.
Right now, Oak Park's really content with a 3 when they probably need to take to the basket, see if they can get to the free throw line and make something happen.
And they have a post presence in Carissa Davis. The 6-foot freshman has not scored to this point. She's averaging 15 a game. A runner on the baseline is left short by Cutchlow, and a whistle on the rebound.
They're really struggling with their offensive rhythm right now, Tim, and you know, to be content with the 3-point. And a lot of it has to do with the Park Hills defense also.
Yeah.
They're very active with their hands right now, and they're really getting them to force to pick up the dribble.
Well, we mentioned it at the top. That is sort of the Lily Everly effect. Lily Everly had 20 points in the previous matchup, as this one may have been partially blocked, but the Trojans will hang on to it. This one tipped and a foul call. But Everly was averaging more than 12 points a game, and her presence really opened up the rest of this Oak Park offense, and she went down last Friday against North Kansas City. They only scraped together 33 points in that loss. She only played in that first quarter, and then against Liberty earlier in the week, a 55-46 loss. So a 3 here from Lydia Keller spreads it to 19.
You got to find those 3-point shooters out there, and Park Hill can put them on the perimeter. At times, they're having a tough time finding out who they have.
And a moving screen gives it right back to Park Hill. But this is, yeah, an Oak Park team, Coach, that almost has to find a new identity. And here's that foul.
Yeah, she came right at her. She's got to be set. Good call. They're going to have to spread their offense out, put a little bit more space into their offense. Back to the zone now.
Meanwhile, plenty of space in this offense for Park Hill. This one well short, maybe then partially blocked as Davis pulls in the rebounds. And then the pass airmailed.
It's a good idea. Just need to take some of that air out of it a little bit. When you lose your post player, a 6'2" post player, I mean, that takes a lot, not only offensively or defensively, out of your game plan a little bit. And they're trying to piecemeal it together a little bit with some kids that really aren't used to playing in the paint, like Coach said. So she was anxious to see how they were going to react a little bit, but it's going to take time.
Yeah.
Hopefully she'll be back in 2 weeks and they'll be ready down the stretch. But right now, losing 3 in a row, they're going to have to gather everybody together.
A runner in the lane is off, and that was last touched by Boston Wands. And that is the positive side of this, as Lily Everly still being vocal on the sideline. They do expect her to come back before those district tournaments start. So that's the bright side of this, and we got a long way to go still in this game. 5:06 to go, second quarter, as we head to a timeout, but can't be understated. Lily Everly, one of the best players in this district, and she was a reason why that game got to overtime, why Oak Park won it back in December. 20 points on 10 of 17 shooting, very efficient. She's also the leading rebounder in Oak Park school history. That's also been an issue early on. They were honoring her for senior night. Told you only 2 seniors on this roster, Ross and Everly. And those two have been a heck of a 1-2 punch all year.
Well, one of the things Coach also said is she's our leader. And when you lose your leader, and not just at practice, but in the hallway and in the locker room, she said, really, she's the heart of our team. So we need to get her back, and we need her to get her back soon. But you can see on the bench, she's the biggest cheerleader for those kids. And you got to be gritty. Every possession becomes really important right now. And Coach has tried about everything. You know, as a coach, all you can do is put kids in position, and they got to make the plays. And right now, Park Hill's making the plays.
At the same time, Coach, I mean, you can also learn a lot about some of your players, right? And I feel like you can unlock some confidence that maybe wasn't able to flourish when she was on the floor.
Absolutely.
A travel is going to give it right back to Park Hill. So I don't think it's a complete negative to have a player out. I think that you can find positives in it, and it can help you come district tournament time. Because again, just 2 weeks ago, Oak Park was 14-2 on the year before this 3-game skid. This is a really good team when fully healthy.
And they're pressing. Their press bothered them a little bit. Really good help.
Underneath, a whistle before the bucket. And, Coach, you'll notice they're sliding that extra defender into the post now to do something to slow Wands.
Yeah, they cannot stay behind her. Great move by Coach. They're bringing the weak side help over. That also means there's a three-point shooter out there open. You can't cover them all.
A 19-point first half advantage for the Trojans. This is their biggest lead of this first half, and a steal. Jalen Carter jumps the passing lane. And Carter traps.
Excellent position there for a trap. Park Hill's really active defensively.
Geary, good finish.
Really good move. Coach is really mixing it up. Press, zone, man.
And with a short bench, I think you're a little bit hesitant to come out in a man-to-man look just because of the extra running, but this is the risk you run with that zone. But the open three is well off. Cutchlow hesitated too long. And Oak Park will swing it. Ross, open look. Has another.
They needed that.
Her 41st three-pointer of the season, and now she jumps this pass in a steal. Ross, a 7-0 spurt from Oak Park, and it's back to 12.
Now the crowd's getting into it a little bit. They're positive body language.
Mid-range, Lydia Keller too easy.
Well, you see what happens when you got to bring your weak side over.
Yeah.
And to help out with the post player, they did a really good job of finding the open player on the weak side of the floor.
Geary trying to work it to Davis as she gets fouled. Carissa Davis, only 2 points in this first half. We told you, though, she's been tremendous. A walking double-double, averaging 15 points, 10.5 rebounds a game. But a lot of that scoring was also dependent on having Lily Everly on the floor and teams being unable to focus in on one player defensively. But case in point to that earlier point, this seems like an opportunity for Carissa Davis, because once Lily Everly graduates, Kiera Davis will be the focus for a lot of teams. This is a chance for her to be able to react to some of those double teams in the paint.
Absolutely, and she went down and got position on Boston One. They gave her the ball. I think she's going to have to do a little bit more of that, and they can maybe get Boston in foul trouble a little bit.
She couldn't hit from the foul line. And this rebound is tipped, saved, and another look. A foul call on the three will send Finney to the line.
That's a big offensive rebound. Kept the possession alive and kicked it out to a three-point shooter for a foul. Now they're going to shoot three. Really good offensive rebound. Kick out with the foul.
3 shots going to Taylor Finney.
Brooklyn Beard kept that alive. She's another senior. He's got some size in the paint.
This is a veteran group for Park Hill. Several seniors on this roster, but, Coach, they start a pair of freshmen. And both freshmen have been really good this season.
You know, I used to tell our teams all the time, there's only 1 year that you have for your senior year. So it's usually about your leadership of your senior class. And Coach really likes her 6 seniors, and their success down the stretch is going to have a lot to do with that. They have opened their arms to the young kids. Not always does that happen.
Geary, and one. Sierra Geary can get a three-point play on the other end.
This is the third time Geary's taken it downhill. She's taking it right at him. Good left-hand dribble, left-hand move. Basket good. They need more of that.
3 at the line.
If you can play inside out, you're a lot better off. She can stop there, kick it out for their threes, and their offense is going to click a little bit better. It's awful tough to play outside in.
Oak Park has missed their last 3 free throws.
And they need those.
That's a tough matchup inside. Juan going up strong.
That's a big, strong kid that can score that. Davis had her hand straight up. She went in there, avoided the contact, and scored it. They just right now have no answer for Boston Juan.
A timeout from Oak Park, a full timeout, 1:42 to go in this first half, and Boston Juan is knocking on the door of 20 first half points, Coach. And I think the other side of that coin, defensively for Oak Park, we talked about how thin that bench is. Carissa Davis can't afford to get into any foul trouble either.
Yeah, they're trying about everything over there. I think both teams are both well coached, and you can only coach the kids you have on the bench. And right now, Oak Park's trying about everything. Park Hill, and like Coach said a little bit, when they got beat in December, the first time they played, that really changed their season. And sometimes you want revenge, and this is the revenge game. They felt like they gave it away. The way they came out, the way that they were motivated, you could tell there's going to be a statement made with the basketball team today. And Park Hill so far has really, taken it to Oak Park.
Yeah, you think Boston Juan came into this game with a chip on her shoulder. Coach, I told you, she had 4 points back in December in that first game. It was her lowest point total of the season. And, I mean, you can make the argument that just based off that, her worst game of the season. And again, 18 points. Granted, no Lily Everly, but Boston Juan hasn't cared who's been in front of her all night to this point. She has been tremendous.
Well, I'm sure that snow day, Coach had them watching that video. When I talked to her, she said they were going to watch it. She left that room saying, man, this is embarrassing.
Around it off from Carter.
Kids know when they play well. This is going to be a bounce-back game for her.
Juan has 20 before halftime.
Great pass by Stevens. Excellent pass. Sometimes you forget about the pass after the seal and the bucket.
Going to have to see what her season high is. She may have her season low and season high against the same team. What a first half for Boston Juan. She has outscored Oak Park in this first half.
They got Kiara Ross just kind of standing around using one dribble. She wants a 3 only.
Cutchlow with a great finish. Over the outstretched hand of Boston Juan.
Playing a 2-3 right now. Park Hill's going to wait for one shot.
Finney through traffic
with the Euro step.
But they've got a lot of weapons. And they've got an 18-point cushion. Inside 10 to go first half. Ross had to pick up her dribble. Cutchlow to beat the horn. Got it. Banks it in to take us into the locker room. Cutchlow with the last 5 points for Oak Park. And a bit of a pulse going into the locker room for the Lady Okies. Big shot.
She gets her feet set. Off the backboard. They needed that. They really needed that. Look at their body language. It changed a little bit. Their bench came out. That's a big shot for Oak Park.
Back to 15. Oak Park with a bit of a pulse, but Boston Juan with 20 in that first half for Park Hill. The Trojans have won 3 in a row going into tonight. And a great first half. Good start for the Trojans. Halftime on Spectrum News. Yeah, that tells, I think, everything you need to know. Yeah, the shooting has been great, but the rebounding in that game back in December, dead even, 29 apiece. But so far in this one, heavily in Park Hill's favor. And part of that is because Oak Park's career rebound leader is inactive tonight with that shoulder injury. But this one is boarded by Carissa Davis of Oak Park. And she tries to go coast to coast, and she will. There's the freshman.
Yeah, excellent move. Excellent move.
They need to get her going. She's averaging 15 a game. And, Coach, she's sitting on 4.
I think Coach probably talked about the urgency. We got to do it, and we got to do it now. Park Hill sliding that there it is, the player into the middle of the free throw line. That's the open spot right now. Most coaches will agree your best player needs to be at the free throw line in the middle of the floor. They can pass it at any direction from that point.
Trojans slow playing this possession. An open look from beyond the arc is good. Lydia Keller, another 3.
They have to find her. They got to have to move. The key about a zone, you move when the ball's in the air, not when the ball's caught.
Lydia Keller going to go play soccer at Washburn next year. A 3 on the other end is well short. And back over to Park Hill.
It's going to be difficult to come back if you're going to just be forced to shoot some three-point shots. Get on that free throw line, get the rebounds on the offensive boards, and go to work.
And that's not Oak Park's game. They do play inside out. They've got three-point shooters, but yeah, to your point, they do not want to become reliant on that three-point shot.
And one of the things Coach said is we have to get points off the transition. That just doesn't happen.
Tough rebound inside as Geary is fouled fighting for that board. 5'5" junior went up and high-pointed it off the rim. Here's that last shot.
Park Hill did a good job of swinging the basketball. It's just, again, it's awful tough to get out there and guard a post and turn around, get a hand in the face. Excellent execution.
Cuts low. They reach in, foul call. Just underway in this third quarter. A 15-point lead at the intermission. Park Hill has tacked one onto that halftime advantage. They have led the entire way so far in this one. This pass tipped away by Want.
Really good idea, but active hands.
And taken right back. Jalen Carter got in there. 3-on-2. Cutchlow loading. Can't hit.
That's a good look. That's how they play. They're going to score up the transition.
Keller tried to muscle one in, got her own miss. And again, torn in by Geary. And then Geary just coughed it up. Audrey Sims buries the 3.
That's a big turnover. Geary worked hard and got the rebound, turned it over in the backcourt.
And here's that takeaway in the backcourt.
Boston Juan swings it out there.
And Park Hill, they've got a lot of shooters. Audrey Sims may be their best. 34% from beyond the arc. And I'll give you another friendly reminder here, Coach. Only a freshman.
She's going to be a really good player. Coach is really excited about her.
Averaging a shade under 11 points a game, but I mean, shooting 34% from beyond the arc your freshman season, you're going to have a green light for the next 3 years.
Well, you got Tucker and Sims who are freshmen, and then you have the freshmen for Oak Park. You got 2 of the upcoming teams, especially north of the river. It's going to be exciting to see how they grow.
Wait, how about everybody repping the Spectrum shirts and hats tonight? I like that. Hey, speaking of, they know we're watching the Hy-Vee High School Game of the Week on Spectrum News. They're enjoying it to this point. Not sure who they're cheering for. I think they're just cheering for us, to be honest.
They keep waving at us.
Yeah,
they keep waving at us.
they don't have Park Hill or Oak Park apparel on. They've got our stuff on, as this runner is good from Kiera Ross.
You saw a little bit what she could do with the basketball.
I want to say that's her first shot of this third quarter, Coach.
They've done a good job of finding her, but she's going to be more aggressive offensively and take it downhill to the basket. Good
Tucker.
cut.
Good dish. Boston Wand has tied her season high with 22 tonight.
They're putting on a clinic on how to run a zone offense. They really are. It helps with outside shooters.
The freshman goes baseline. Carissa Davis has 4 points in this third quarter.
That's one of the few times they've scored back-to-back, so they just got to keep working at it.
Still a long way to go. Only halfway through this third quarter. Still time as this one's taken away. Davis running the floor. Carissa Davis fouled, and she will go to the line and a chance to cut it back to 15.
We haven't had a lot of free throws.
No. But I've got a photographic memory. I can tell you that back in that first half, Carissa Davis 0 for 2 on her one trip to the foul line. She hits her first free throw. That was also a minor storyline. Oak Park struggled from the line the times they got there in that first half.
Yeah, she shoots 79% from the free throw line. 15 points a game, 10 rebounds. She's a big part of their offense. She's going to have to step up and make something happen here in the second half.
Hey, you just saw that stat, though. She's got 6 in this third quarter after only putting up 2 in the first half. So she is starting to get rolling, and it's back to 15. And now tough defense. Swan threw a double, had to give it up. And right into Davis goes Finney, and she will go to the line. Only the second against Carissa Davis.
They need to keep her on the floor, Davis, so she's really got to be aware in that zone. She's going to have to play with her feet.
That foul situation going to be something to monitor. Correct me if I'm wrong. I only remember one sub that entire first half come off the bench for Oak Park.
Yeah, they're just low. They're just low confidence-wise. You know, as a coach, you know you have to have some success to gain confidence. You can't just turn the switch on. Ball has to go in. Some things have to go your way to gain confidence.
Back to 17 after the free throws. Ross stepping back. This is where this game has sort of hovered since that second quarter, this 15 to 19 point range.
And a lot of it, dude, they're only getting one shot, too, Oak Park. Coach said one of the things they're going to have to rebound the basketball, especially offensively.
Audrey Sims, 2 more, and a whistle. Not sure what the whistle was for, but Park Hill's going to be granted a sub here.
You can't touch the ball. I think the girl touched the ball after a made basket. It's a warning.
And what does happen if it happens again?
Technical.
Oh.
Technical.
Seems a little bit ticky-tack.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just me.
Good ball movement here.
Ross,
Really good
dish.
pass. Good pass.
Carissa Davis now has 10 in the game, with 8 of it coming since halftime, but 2 more for Audrey Sims. Park Hill continues to have the answer.
Well, again, I think some of the times Oak Park is a little bit uncertain if they're in a zone or a man.
Davis, good pump, and she'll go right back to the line. And this is the Carissa Davis that we wanted to see in the first half. And sort of to my point back in the first half, I know the scoreboard is lopsided, but seems like this is a real bright spot right now. Carissa Davis is being forced to be the offense right now in a game where Lily Everly is unavailable. A game like this could end up being huge for her confidence.
Absolutely. Especially you're talking about the last 3 weeks of your season.
Right.
And you throw Lily in there, and you're going to have a double combo in there that's going to be tough to stop.
I mean, she was a really good scorer when Lily Everly drew attention away from her, but now she's starting to flip a switch with the attention on her.
Yeah. And again, she's averaging 15 points right now. They're asking a little bit more offensively out of her.
So definitely things to be encouraged about if you're an Oak Park fan. but more to be encouraged about if you're a Park Hill fan. 2 more for Taylor Finney, and the lead is 20. That's the other thing. The Trojans are not taking bad shots, Coach.
No. They're very well coached. They've been really patient, and they've really shared the ball.
Yeah.
They've shared the ball. Wand out of the game right now, and they haven't lost a beat. Everybody's touching it. That's beautiful.
Extra pass. Finney can't cash it. As Davis gets fouled roughly 85 feet away.
Number 33, Brooklyn Rostenberg, her second, team fifth.
And Carissa Davis will head to the foul line. Oak Park in the bonus. Davis sitting on 11. And she has been really good in this third quarter. 9 in the quarter from Carissa Davis.
Davis on the line, shooting the bonus.
Like you said earlier, they really don't have a lot of options on the bench. They've only been playing 6, maybe 7 girls. They try to get a little tired. Park Hill's really run them up and down a little bit. It's difficult. It's difficult right now.
And for the Trojans, number 13, Brooklyn.
We haven't even mentioned
Ventricino.
Delaney Harbrucker, who was lost to the season back in December, but that was also another senior starter for this team. So this is an Oak Park team that has been forced to shuffle this lineup and work with a shortened bench for most of the year.
Yeah, and you talk about 2 great seniors, 2 great leaders. It really changed your season, and they're going to get Lily back here real quick. Set play.
Oh, beautiful. Lydia Keller drills the 3. Hey, Coach, this Park Hill offense is working in high gear right now.
Well, Coach has really turned it around here. You could tell they're well coached. This is her 3rd year here at Park Hill. She was part of the national championship Central Missouri State staff. It's been for Park Hill, and it's her 3rd year as the head coach here. And they're really excited that their best years are ahead of them. They were 11 and 12 last year, and she said we're really building something special here. You can see that.
Coach, back in the end of January, Park Hill was just sort of middling at 10 and 7, but a chance to push it to 4 straight wins and push that record to 14 and 7. And this is looking more and more like a team to be reckoned with come district tournament time.
Absolutely. As a coach, you got to be really excited how you're playing right now, offensively and defensively.
Inside 45 seconds to go in this third quarter. Park Hill has only widened the gap in quarter 3. Wand back into the game. Not there. Wand falling, able to tip it to a teammate, extend this possession.
They really share the ball well. I think everybody's touched the ball in this possession, and they're winding the clock down. They're going to be set. They know exactly what they're doing.
Anderson inside 10 seconds. Almost lost it, and a reach-in foul call on Jalen Carter.
They were trying to run a little pick and pop there for their shooter there for Keller. We'll see if Keller's going to try to get the ball back in her hand a little bit, or they're going to look inside for Wand.
Wand, 3 ball. Her first miss of the night, and that will wind us to the end of quarter 3. Park Hill has built a 19-point lead after 3 quarters, and they are 8 minutes away from avenging that loss earlier in the season to Oak Park. And yeah, this Park Hill team, boy, they've got a lot of options. And in that third quarter, Coach, we saw everybody getting in on the act.
Well, they do a good job of sharing the basketball. They can all handle a basketball. Swing the ball over for Keller. Another one from the deep corner. That swing around the whole perimeter. It changes your defense when you got to get out of there. When you got to force yourself out. You still got Wand to handle in there, and you just can't do it all. And you can't do it all, especially if you don't have a lot of size inside there. That's been the story of the game right now for Oak Park.
You see the Hy-Vee score by quarter. And again, Park Hill has not trailed. They got shot out of a cannon. Remember, Boston Wand had double digits before we got finished with our intro this evening. And from then on, Park Hill has just kept Oak Park at arm's distance. And unless something changes drastically for Oak Park in this fourth quarter, the Trojans are looking down the barrel of a fourth straight win. And hey, here's a reminder as if you needed one. The best team in Missouri Class 6 tips it off against Park Hill after this game concludes, about 20 minutes or so after this one finishes up. A rematch from last Friday night, a dramatic game last Friday night, a game that got controversial towards the end. Going to be a lot of fun in the rematch.
Yeah, their only loss is a team from Texas, so they played in 5 different states. They've been ranked in the top 50 teams in the country all year, so you're talking one of the better teams in Kansas City for quite a while.
Oh yeah, they've also got the reigning Dorena Award winner, and we talked about that. That's ridiculous. There have not been a lot of junior Dorena Award winners. We were talking about that. We don't have an exact number for you, but Corbin Allen won it last year as a junior. I'm sure we would love to defend his Dorena title. I don't think he's as concerned about that as trying to get to the state championship. But yeah, there's a reason that people across the country are aware of Oak Park.
Yeah, San Diego signee. When you're the best player on the best team, you're a really good player. You're a really good player because you're going to see one of the best teams in Kansas City coming up here next.
And believe us, it's not a one-man show. They are loaded everywhere, but we'll tackle all that in our second game. Still got a full fourth quarter to go here in a 20-point game. As this one is kicked, but a foul comes on the floor first.
Well, Coach Anderson's also done a great job for the Oak Park girls. And just 3 weeks ago, they were one of the better teams in the city.
Yeah.
And she just came off her over 100 wins as a head coach and excited about her team. Injuries could really change her season a little bit. They're going through a downtime right now, 3 straight losses, and you want to turn things around. So she's trying about everything you can try.
But we sort of stressed that point in the first half. Help is on the way for Oak Park. Again, a team that was 14-2 just 2 weeks ago is about to lose their 4th straight game, but Lily Everly, one of the best players in Class 6, forget the district. She's one of the best players in the state. This is a different team when she's on the floor, and she is going to make her way back before district tournament time.
And her presence is going to change your team immediately. And those kids know that, and Coach knows that.
It'll be real interesting to see if these two teams match up a third time. That would be a heck of a game.
That can easily happen with the districts.
Remember the first time with Lily Everly out there, these two teams went to overtime. And Oak Park took that one 57-48. If they meet a third time and they're all fully healthy, could be another overtime thriller. Boston Wand give her a season high. 24 and a chance to make it 25.
Well, that's her night because the ball hit the side of the rim, the middle of the rim, and went in when they're all over her wrist. So what a move inside. Great footwork. She's going to be an excellent college player.
Look, I don't want to critique her night too hard, but she did miss a shot in the third quarter.
That was a three-point. That was a three-point shot. Desperation at the end of the quarter. I'm sure she's defending herself right
We'll
now.
let it slide. A near-perfect night from Boston Wand. Her night may be done, but you see it. She was able to set a season high and probably a little bit more motivated considering her low of the season was 4 points in the first game against Oak Park.
Well, she missed a shot, and they got her sitting on the end of the bench. When she was 9 for 9, she sat next to the coach. So that's what happens.
Go think it over.
Get better. Think about it at the end of the bench. But she's had a whale of a night.
Davis splitting defenders and one.
Carissa Davis.
Really good move by Davis.
Man, I know this is a lopsided score, but Carissa Davis is special.
She's a scorer. You can see easily why she can score 15 points a game. She sets some outside shots. She's splitting the defense, and she finishes strong around the goal. She's been at the line.
Man, again, 2 points in the first half, 14 in the second for Carissa Davis. She has almost been all of Oak Park's offense in the second half.
Yeah, she's got her average 16.
Davis boards this miss. And again, Oak Park may walk out of here with a loss, but they are discovering something with Carissa Davis. Not that she hasn't been great all year, but the fact that she can take on people as the focus of a defense, you're going to have two options that can beat just about anybody one-on-one when Lily Everly gets back.
Yes, and that's going to be a double-edged sword down there who you can try to stop, because she can really put it on the floor. We don't get to see Lily today do what she does well.
Right.
She's the all-time leading rebounder here at Oak Park. So you're talking about she can clean the boards, get it out to an outlet, get it to Ross, and get it to Davis, run the floor. So they're a totally different team.
This is probably a bit of a confidence boost for Carissa Davis, especially in this second half, despite the scoreline.
Oh, excellent pass.
With a good finish to push that back to 22.
Izzy Petznick came in there earlier in the game, brings a lot of energy in.
And a timeout. 5 minutes to go in this fourth quarter, 66-44. That's the other side of this coin. Yeah, Park Hill has won 3 straight, Coach, but you look at those 3 wins, they've all been low-scoring affairs. They dropped only 47 against St. Joe Central on Tuesday. They beat Truman, but only with 42 points. And then they went to overtime with Platte County, but even in overtime, only 55 points. The offense seems like they have taken a turn tonight.
Well, I think 2 things. I think Oak Park did not defend real well in the first half. You can see here. The other thing is, look at the passing. Everybody touches the ball. They're playing team basketball. They're finishing at the rim. That's what, when you're playing like that, it's fun to watch. It's fun to be part of. It's fun to coach. They're having a lot of fun tonight. That's what kids are supposed to do. And especially on a rival's floor, this has got to be a special night right now for Coach and the Park Hill team.
A chance for the revenge tour to continue next week for Park Hill, assuming they finish the job over the last 5 minutes. Their last loss came at the hands of North Kansas City on the road. That's who they will host on the 17th next week. That's a bit of another litmus test for Park Hill.
The amount of talent up north of the river, especially for girls basketball, is just exploding. Every one of those teams got quality players. We all know about the girl from Park Hill South, but the other teams really got some players. Yeah,
this district, guys and girls, is a gauntlet, Coach.
Well, the boys, Coach Jones was just talking about, the top 4 teams, 4 of the top 10 teams in the state in the same region.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are staying home. That's a little bit unfair, but that's how it goes.
And I would expect the girls district tournament to be a bloodbath, much like the guys. Open look is off the mark, and it's going to go back over to Oak Park, but it'll be
the bench
entertaining regardless.
Yeah, she must not shoot a lot of threes. The bench is still laughing. There's no shot clock. She didn't have to shoot it. But she's having a lot of fun.
In a 22-point game,
yeah,
you have a little bit more of a leash with that shot.
And she's a senior. Brooklyn's a senior. She's having fun. They have experience. They have 6 seniors. They have quality players. They pass the ball well. They defend.
Wow, good move on the block.
Izzy Petzig, another senior.
A 3 as Jalen Carter cans another one. And now these 2 teams just swapping buckets down the stretch in this fourth quarter. But the trends are going to continue. They tried again into Petznick. A foul will keep it with the Trojans. Park Hill's going to push that win streak to 4. Move to 14-7 after tonight, and Oak Park, after starting 14-2, they're going to find themselves 14-6 going into a road trip next week at Benton and then at St. Joe Central. Here's a steal, but unable to finish on the other end was Geary.
Peyton Durr in the game, senior for Park Hill, along with number 13. Oh, excellent pass.
Yeah. Nakia Chapel. Everybody getting in on the act for Park Hill this evening. They have dropped 70 on Oak Park. And the Trojans taking advantage of the mismatch in the paint this evening. Everybody's taking advantage of it. And again, Coach, every post player has been
great
on their game tonight.
Great position, great footwork, no pressure on the ball. That's an easy pass. They earn their points there.
Again, a Trojans team that is rounding into form, and this is the time to be rounding into form. Mid-February, riding a 4-game win streak. I don't know if there's a more dangerous time to be playing your best basketball other than March, but boy, it's not going to get easier for Park Hill. Again, playing in maybe the toughest district in the state of Missouri. You're going to be battle tested, and speaking of battle tested, hey, our next game is going to be awesome. The men of Park Hill taking on the men of Oak Park, the #1 ranked team in Missouri Class 6, and you said it, a top 50 team nationally. The reigning Dorena Award winner in Corbin Allen and his running mate, Caleb Estes, one of the best backcourts, I would say, in the Midwest. Forget Missouri, probably in the Midwest.
Well, then you have Coach Rod Collins, KU Jayhawk national champion, one of those been there, done that coaches. That means a lot for kids, and a lot of their, Corbin Allen said, well, he's been a major influence to me because he's been there, and he could tell me what I'm supposed to do. So Coach has done a great job with them. He really motivates them. They get after you defensively. So you're going to see one of the better teams in the Midwest here tonight.
Yeah, this is the first time we've ever mentioned Sharon Collins. He has been tremendous since taking the Oak Park job. Good runner from Kiera Ross.
Well, he's got fans from all over Kansas City coming to the games to see that squad. Him and Coach Fritz, Coach Jones at Park Hill have brought Northland basketball back in Kansas City, and they're on the map with a lot of really good players.
Yeah, it's going to be a packed house for our second game. You are not going to want to miss it. I promise you that. It's going to be loud in here for that second game.
And if you like to see people play over the rim, you're going to see it.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to see Leo Guyman. You're going to see Cam Jones. Friday, there was a handful of dunks, and there were some spectacular athletic plays.
A travel gives it right back to Park Hill. Yeah, I can promise you there will be some fireworks, and Ochai Abaji might be on hand to watch his record be broken in our second game. Corbin Allen is 14 points away from becoming the all-time leading scorer in Oak Park program history. Abaji currently owns that mark, and I would imagine that's part of the reason why he's on hand. It helps that it's the All-Star break, but that really lined up perfectly, didn't it?
Oh, yeah. Well, that tells you about the support that Coach Collins has with former players. He was a great player here. It's great for Kansas City basketball. And anytime you're scoring over 1,700 points in a state that just plays 25, 30 games, you're one heck of a player. And Corbin's got that chance to overtake that tonight.
.15 seconds to go in this one. A game dominated from the opening tip by Park Hill. Boston Wand, a season high with 25, helped lead the way for the Trojans, but this was an all-around effort, as that will take us to the finish line. Park Hill has won 4 in a row. They avenge that earlier loss in overtime at the hands of Oak Park back in December. And the Trojans all of a sudden looking like a team to be reckoned with in mid-February. 14-7 on the year, and a statement victory tonight against Oak Park as they drop the Lady Okies to 14-6 overall. Another win for Park Hill, 4 in a row. We will wrap on the other side of this on Spectrum News. (74-53) your final score tonight. Park Hill a rout of Oak Park, and they avenge that loss from back in December. And coach, for Park Hill, they have now won 4 in a row, but this game probably meant a little bit more.
Well, absolutely. What Coach Earnhardt told me is after that game in the locker room, they decided they were going to change their season. They're going to change their attitude, their work ethic, and it showed today. They're a different basketball team, and we really saw two teams kind of going in two directions. Oak Park just struggling with the lack of size, with injuries. Park Hill playing with a lot of confidence, and Oak Park really questioning some of the things they're doing right now without their big girl.
Park Hill started the night outside of the coach's top 10 poll, but they keep getting wins like this, Coach, and I'm not sure how much longer you can keep them out of the top 10. Park Hill is rolling. They have won 4 straight. They are having a great Valentine's Day. They are playing their best basketball at the time to play it. Oak Park trying to get off the mat. They have lost 4 in a row, but help is on the way. A dominant win tonight for the Trojans. They moved to 14-7 overall, a season high for Boston Wand in the 21-point win. Stay with us on Spectrum News.